Namaste. Welcome to this Friday night yoga session for mat yogis. And tonight we are going to be doing a moon salutation because it is the full moon. And it's a great practice to do in the evening because it's quietening, centering, tranquilizing on our energy, but we still get to move quite a lot. So we're going to begin by sitting on our mats, just for a little centering. You might need a block later on in the class, particularly if your hamstrings are a little short. I don't really like saying that because it's so rarely actually the hamstrings that are short, but if you need help touching the floor in a forward bend, a block is useful. Come into the comfortable seating position of your choice. It can be kneeling, and if you don't want to sit, you can lie down, of course. Rest your hands wherever feels good. Allow your spine to organize itself upwards, closing the eyes or gazing gently downward. And take a moment to step into the space on your mat, mentally as well as physically. Leave behind the worries of your day, the cares of your week. Let go of anything that's disturbed your peace. And find yourself on a journey back to your balance and your sense of center. Notice how your body's feeling. Notice any areas that perhaps need just a little touch of TLC today. Notice also the areas that are quieter, perhaps because they are more comfortable. And then notice the breath that you're breathing right now. Observe the qualities of your breath. The smoothness, the depth, the softness. And on your next exhalation, gently engaging the space over your navel to press a little extra air out of the lungs before breathing deeper in, deeply into the rib cage, the collarbones, the shoulder blades. Breathing more fully out with that gentle engagement across the navel. Breathing into the sides of the body, the chest, the back. Breathing out fully, more completely. A few more long, deep breaths like this. And if you want to, you can sigh out through your mouth just to let go of any emotional tension that might be sitting on your chest here. See if you can relax your face. Allow your shoulders to soften. And then when you're ready, you can just blink your eyes open. Wonderful. So let's get started on our backs today. So swing yourself around on your mat and bring yourself down onto your back, resting one foot to the floor, then the other, allowing the arms to rest out to the sides just for a moment. So allow the spine to unfold itself, the pelvis to rearrange itself in this position. And then here, we're gently going to sway the knees from side to side, having your feet quite wide apart, and just a gentle sway of the knees. We're not aiming for a twist yet. We're just wakening up the connections between the legs, the pelvis, the back, the abdomen, the feet. And when you've done a few to each side, You can return your knees to center, and we're going to gather the knees into the chest one at a time. And holding the knees either on top or behind the knees, and the feet nice and far apart, or the knees nice and far apart, making circular motions with your knees. At the same time, allow your head to really rest towards the mat, because letting go of tension at the back of the neck is easiest to do when the weight of the head is supported. When you've done a few circles in each direction, allow the knees to come a little bit further apart, release the hands down, and then let your legs make circles in opposite directions with your knees still bent, or you can straighten and bend the legs a little as well. Go in both directions, like you're sort of treading water but lying on your back. Very good. And then coming back to center, we're gently going to float the feet to the floor one at a time. And the feet can be quite wide. We're going to bring the elbows down by the sides of the body, pressing the upper arms, elbows, shoulders, back of the head down, pressing into the feet to lift the hips up, just rolling gently up and rolling back down again. We'll do 2 more like that. Pressing down with the upper body, gently down with the head, firmly down with the feet, lifting the hips up and rolling gently down. Let's do 1 more. Pressing down the upper body, lifting the hips, and when you get to the top, circling your hips, hula hooping in one direction and then the other. We're going to do a lot with the hips in the Moon Salutation. We just want to give them a really good wakening up. Then coming back to center, rolling gently down. We're going to release the arms slightly further away from the body and sway the knees a little bit more deeply into that twisting motion. So the knees are still really far apart, the feet still far apart, just pivoting on the soles of your feet as you roll the knees from one side to the other. If it feels good to keep going like this dynamically, you can keep going. And if you feel able to hold the posture, then the next time your knees come to your left side, allow them to just rest where they are and take a deep breath in, relax the shoulders, and a deep breath out. That's all we're doing here at the beginning of the class, coming back to center, going to the opposite side, or keep waving from side to side. Knees on the right for a deep breath in and a deep breath out. Coming back to center, we're going to draw the knees a little bit into the chest and then lift the feet towards long with the legs. So it doesn't need to be towards the ceiling, it can be a little bit further away from you. If it feels comfortable and you want to hold on, you can hold on at the backs of the thighs. But if you can do this without holding onto the legs, even better. The legs do not have to be straight, remember, they can have a little softness in them. We're going to reach the hands up and roll the ankles and the wrists at the same time, and going in both directions as well. And once we've done this rolling, we're going to take our hands to our inner thighs and then take the feet as far apart as feels comfortable right now. So I would not expect you to go as far as you're able to go, but as far as you feel that you can easily, comfortably hold with no sensations of trying or striving or tension in the hips. And then here in this wide-legged position, just rocking from side to side. So your feet don't need to be very far apart. It's just whatever works for you. A little rocking from side to side. And then when you're ready, you can come to center and try pressing your feet towards each other as you press your hands into your thighs, trying to press your legs apart. So feet are pressing towards each other, you're resisting with the weight, the strength of your arms, and then relax and just see if your feet will drop a little bit further apart from each other comfortably. 1 more like that, pressing the feet towards each other, pressing down into the thighs, really resisting. Just a few breaths as you hold, and then relax, and just see if you've created a little bit more space. Here, we're going to soften the knees, so dropping the heels towards the bottom, slide your hands to the outside of the thighs, and then lift the legs or the knees back together again. Fantastic stuff. Holding on to the backs of the knees, we're going to roll backwards and forwards through the length of the spine. And of course, you can come up to your sit bones and balance for a moment, teeter-totter, back to your shoulder blades and back to balancing. A few times like this. Woo. And on your next one, you can come up to sitting, but only briefly, because we're going to come up to standing. So anyone who wants to roll all the way up to standing, of course, can. And we're going to come all the way up to standing for our moon salutation. Aces. So there are probably a few of you who might not be familiar with a moon salutation. So last week we did an earth salutation where we did a little raising of the arms, swaying from side to side, a little twisting, and then we folded forward to a forward bend. So we're going to use that and build on it. So I will do the first one for you because why not? When we work with our moon side, we work with the left first. So that's unusual in yoga. Often yoga was done only by men for so many years. I think that's one of the reasons why they did the right side first for everything. But in moon salutations, we do not. So bringing your feet a comfortable distance apart, they can be quite close together if you prefer. And then standing tall, spreading the toes, lifting from the center of the foot to the crown of the head, turning the palms of the hands forwards. In this mountain pose, take a deep breath in and a deep breath out. Very good. Then standing tall as you breathe in again, and as you breathe out, bring your palms together at the center of your chest. As you breathe in, reach the arms up, and as you breathe out, just settle your shoulders down. So keep reaching with the arms, lift with the belly. Breathe in as you lean to your left side. Let your hips come away from the left, and breathe out back to center. Breathe in as you lean to your right. Breathe out back to center. Let's do one more to each side. Breathing in as you lengthen over. Breathe out as you return. Breathe in as you lengthen over. Breathe out as you return. Let's twist. Breathe in, reach the right hand forward and the left hand back. Breathe out as you return. Breathe in as you twist to the right. Breathe out as you return. One more to each side. Breathing in. Breathing out, breathing in, and breathing out. Breathe in, open your chest and look up. And as you breathe out, bend your knees and fold forward from your hips, hands to the feet, head towards the knees. Take a deep breath in and a deep breath out. We're going to bend our knees. Look forward as you inhale, sweep the hands forward, drop your bottom, press through the legs to stand tall, opening the chest and breathing out, hands back to Namaste or center of the chest. Fantastic stuff. So our first part of the salute is going to mirror that. And we're going to do this. I will just demonstrate here. No, I'm going to demonstrate here. Wonderful stuff. So we're going to do the same thing. Coming to Namaste, reaching up, leaning over to the left, coming back to center, leaning over to the right, coming back to center, twisting to the left, just watching, coming back to center, twisting to the right, coming back to center. Then we're going to lift the chest and fold forward, just as we've done. And then from here, we're stepping the left foot back as far as it goes, and we're going to take the knee to the floor. We're going to spend a little time in our lunge, the first lunge on each side, but then we'll come into crescent moon pose or half moon pose. And then from there, we're going to reach the hands down to the floor, pivot on our toes to the long side of the mat. So where you set up your camera will probably need to be on the left side of your mat so you can see, because you'll turn to the left. Now, this pose is called, I like to call it Aladdin's lantern pose. It's not what it's called. But if this is too bendy for the knee, then you can do a little squat instead. So a little squat sideways. We come into the center for some goddess pose, some star pose, and a little forward fold with wide legs and a twist. And eventually we end up at the other end of our mat, back in Aladdin pose. And then we turn to face in the opposite direction for some lunging the first time, and then our crescent moon pose. We come back into standing forward bend the knees, come up, and we do a little side bend, a little twist, and finish in Tadasana. Okay, so we start at one end of the mat, traverse that left-hand side, that long left-hand side of the mat, and come to the other end. So place your camera where you think you might see the best. I'm just going to move my mat back a little bit because otherwise I will go off the screen. And if you want to use a block for support at any stage, the left-hand side of your mat is the one to use. Okay, so I'm going to pop that there. Hopefully everyone will be able to see despite its location. There we are. Excuse me while I fiddle with my clothing yet again. It's just one of those things. Okay, so don't worry too much about it because we'll take the first one really slow and I'll talk you through it. Come to the front of your mat, stand with your feet a comfortable distance apart. Lift right from the center of the foot all the way to the crown of the head. Turn the palms of the hands to face forward for a deep breath in and out here. Breathing in again. Bring the hands to the center of the chest, palms together. Breathing in, reaching the arms up. Breathing out, drawing the shoulder blades only down the back and lifting the belly muscles. Breathe in as you lengthen to your left side. Breathe out as you return, just one to each side. Breathing in as you lengthen to your right. Breathe out as you return. Breathe in as you twist to your left. Breathe out as you return. Breathe in as you twist to your right. Breathe out as you return. Breathe in, open your chest as you look up, and breathe out as you bend from your knees, pivot forward from the hips, hands to the feet, head to the knees. Here, we're not going to worry about our breath right now. So, usually you would breathe in as you step your left foot back and take your knee to the floor. And what we're going to do is a little bit of work in our lunge here. So with your hands on the floor, just gently rocking backwards and forwards. So you straighten the front leg a little bit more and then lean the back hip forwards a little bit more. Okay, so just a little bit backwards and forwards. You can extend through the heel, or you can keep the toes of the right foot on the floor if you prefer. Whichever of these is good. Just going backwards and forwards. Next time you bring your hips backwards, let's do it first with the toes pointing up. We're going to have our hips backwards and gently shake the tail from side to side. So it's a gentle sway of your tailbone from side to side, and just feel that accessing different parts of the underneath of the leg, the long straight leg, and the inside of it. Then coming forwards, and we're going to lengthen the back leg and then release the knee to the floor. Lengthen the back leg, release the knee to the floor. Keep your toes down, this time on your right foot, as your hips come backwards. And they don't have to be down on the floor, but in the direction of pointing away from you. And again, swaying your hips from one side to the other. And that's just really getting right in about the hips, the pelvis, doing a little bit of nurturing, warming. And then we're going to come forward into our lunge position again. And I want you to think about what you do with your legs here. So you can press the feet apart from each other, or you can draw the feet towards each other. And one of those will feel like it stabilizes your movement, and one of them won't feel quite so stable. So whatever feels like it's stabilizing for you, do that with your feet. Press them apart or draw them towards each other, and then press through the legs to come up with your chest. And from here, we'll sweep the hands forward, breathing in, open the chest and let your hips come down only if that feels good to you, for a deep breath in. And as you breathe out, lowering the hands back down to the sides. So we're going to pivot now to the long side of our mat. So if you turn your right toes in and then allow your left heel to come to the mat. And for those of you who have no knee problems, you can be on your right tiptoes, bending your right knee very deeply and bringing your hands to Namaste, or the center of the chest, for a little balance here. And if you want to have your toes towards the floor, you can, or if your toes of the left foot want to point forwards, they can. For anyone for whom this doesn't feel quite so good, take the whole of the right heel to the floor and just bend the knee a little on that side with your hands still down on the floor. We'll take a deep breath in and a deep breath out. And then we're going to take our hands to the center as we transfer our weight into the center, turning the toes out and the heels in. And I'm just going to move my block to there so you can see. And here, pressing through the legs to come up into our goddess pose. So boys, you can call this horse stance. Girls, you can call it goddess pose. It's the same thing. And it is bent at the elbows, but the arms lifted to shoulder height, palms facing forwards, legs bent too. Let's press the legs long, reach the arms long into our star pose. You can twinkle your star if you want to. And then we're going to come back into goddess pose, but this time from here we're going to fold forward, resting the forearms onto the inner thighs and do a little sway from side to side. So let your toes find some air if you can. Little sway from side to side if that feels good. Keeping the chest lifted. Cleavage shot at the camera. All good. Okay, and then from here we're going to come to the center, turn the toes to point forwards as we reach for the floor or for your block if you want to use it. Lengthening the back of the legs. We're going to the left first, so leave the right hand down, press away from the floor so your torso is parallel to the floor, not folded forward. And then inhale the left arm up to the left as you look to the left, exhaling down. Inhale the right arm up to the right, look to the right, exhaling down. Let's do one more to each side. Inhaling up, exhaling down. Inhaling to the right, exhaling down. Great job. Okay, so from here we're going to bend our left knee rather and pivot on the heel of our right foot. So if you want to come deeper into Aladdin's pose, you can bring the palms together at the center of the chest. You can support yourself with your toes if you want to or not, or you can simply stay up higher in this squat here. From there, we're going to pivot on our toes again to turn towards the opposite end of the mat, drop the back knee down and come into our lunge. So we're going to work in the lunge first and then do our crescent moon pose afterwards. So swaying the hips backwards and forwards. You might want to open your stance or draw it closer together. You can keep your hands down or you can move your hands with you. Just a little backwards and forwards, keeping the toes down towards the floor sometimes and allowing them to come away from the floor on other times as well. Next time you come back with the toes pointing upwards, settle back into your heel a little bit and sway your hips from side to side. Nice one. And then we're going to come forward, transferring the weight forward and simply lengthen the right leg and then bend the right knee. Lengthen the right leg, press through the heel, bend the right knee. We're keeping the torso down to lengthen one more and bend the knee. And then keeping the left toes down, let your hips settle back towards your heel and again, waving the hips from side to side. And remember, you don't need to have the toes on the floor. It's no problem. So then we're going to bring ourselves into our lunge. I like to bring my front foot just a little closer to my back knee. We're pressing either the feet apart or drawing the feet towards each other, whichever feels more stable. Pressing down into the legs to bring yourself upright. From here, we're going to breathe in, reach the arms up, maybe drop the hips a little bit forwards if that feels okay to you. And then breathe out the hands down either side of the front foot. Lift the back leg. You're going to step both feet to the front in a standing forward bend. Soft knees if you'd like to. Deep breath in here. And deep breath out. And then bend the knees quite deeply. Breathe in as you reach the hands forward. Drop the bottom. Press through the legs to stand tall. Open the chest. And then we're going to twist to the left. Exhaling as we twist. Inhaling back to center. Exhaling, twist to the right. Inhaling back to center, side bend to the left. Exhaling, side bend to the left. Inhaling back to center. Exhaling to the right. Inhaling back to center. And then exhale the hands to namaste. I was going to say one last breath, but there's no need. When you come back to standing with the hands at the center of the chest, relax the arms to the sides. And take a moment, if you need to shake out your legs, you can shake out your legs. Okie dokie, everybody good. I'm going to just come and check that everyone's okay with this. Smashing stuff. Let me have a quick look. Thumbs up if you're good. Smashing, very good. I like it a lot. Okay guys, so we do the same thing again. We're not going to footer about in the lunges quite so much on this side, and we're going to go around again so that we step back with the left foot and to turn around. Now I'm going to do it from this end of my mat as well, again, but you can start wherever you ended up. If you want to move the camera to the opposite side, you can, or like me, you can run to the other end of your mat again. So in real life, the moon salutation is done as a circuit, a sort of continuous circuit around your mat. Let us do one more like this. Standing tall, turning the palms of the hands forward, breathing a deep breath in and out here. Then breathing deeply in, bringing the palms together at the center of the chest. Breathing in, reaching the hands up. If you want to, you can separate the hands here. Breathe out as you settle the shoulders down, but lift your belly muscles. Breathe in, lengthen to your left side. Breathe out as you return. Breathing in, lengthen to your right side. Breathe out as you return. Twisting now as you breathe in, twist to your left, arms wide. Breathing out as you return. Breathing in as you twist to your right. Breathing out as you return. Breathe in, open your chest and look up. Breathing out, fold forwards from your hips, softening your knees on the way down as you breathe out. Breathing in, step the left foot back, knee to the mat, and then don't worry too much about your breathing here. Press the feet away or press them together and roll upwards to upstanding proposal position. And we're going to breathe in, reaching the arms up over the head, and breathe out, hands down either side of the foot. Here we're going to breathe in as we pivot on our toes, either into a little squat or into Aladdin's pose, breathing out here. Then we're going to breathe in as we transfer our weight to the center, toes pointed out, and breathe out to Goddess Squat. Breathing in, reaching the hands tall, and then breathing out, folding forward and coming into that resting position on the thighs, the inner thighs. And we're going to gently sway from side to side, just allowing our breath to be whatever it would like to be. You don't have to do this variation if you don't want to. And then from here, we're going to reach for the floor, breathe in, lengthen the feet, lengthen the legs and turn the toes forward as you breathe out. Press away from you with the right hand, breathe in, reach the left arm up as you twist to the left, breathing out and down. And then the right side, breathing in, reaching up, breathing out and down. One more time to each side, breathing in, breathing out, breathing in, breathing out. We're going to transfer our weight as we breathe in over onto the left foot for Aladdin's pose or the squat. Breathing in, breathing out here. Lovely job. And then we're going to pivot on our toes to come into our lunge on the right side. Press the feet away all together. Breathing in, reaching the arms up as we open the chest. And breathing out, hands down either side of the front foot. Breathing in, lengthen the back leg. Breathe out as you step that foot forwards into a forward bend. Bend your knees deeply. Breathe in, reach the hands forward, open your chest, drop your bottom, press through the legs and twist as you breathe out to your left side. Breathe in back to the center. Breathing out, twisting to the right. Breathing in back to the center, side bend now to the left side. You can join the palms if you want to. Breathing out back to center, breathing in to the right. Breathing out back to center, breathing in as you reach up and breathing out, hands to the center of the chest. Take a moment, relax the arms, maybe shake out the legs a little bit if you need to. Adjust your clothing, which I always need to do. And take a few deep breaths. So rest in Tadasana pose. Allow the hands to rest onto the abdomen or to rest by the side. Notice the effect on your breath. Notice any areas of the body that feel the effects of that in a quite pronounced way. Perhaps a little bit on the inner thighs for some length there. Perhaps across the chest for some openness there. And this is the opportunity to notice if you've overdone it. So in yoga, we are trying to develop that awareness through our body so we know when we've done something that's just been a bit too much. So notice that. Okay, so we're going to do that one more time around. And this time when we come into the lunges, we're going to do something a little bit different, a little bit strange, a little bit new. And to do it, we need to practice swinging our arms around like loonies, which of course is what people do at the full moon. Okay, so if you bring both arms over your head or in that general direction, we're going to let the right arm come forward and the left arm come backwards. Just like our twist, but we're going to carry on that movement and let them circle back up over our head again. So you'll notice that as I do this, my torso twists one way and then the other. The hand that's forward is where I'm twisted away from. Okay, so if you want to try that again, arms up, right hand coming forward, left hand going backwards. Try to carry on with the circle. It's a bit of brain gym, so don't worry if it doesn't come the first few times. And then if you can, change directions. So if you can manage that quite easily, give yourself a few full swings in each direction. If you end up with both arms going in the same direction, just come back to center with the arms reaching up. Left arm coming forward, right arm coming backward, and just let the arms find a way to circle. Once they get going, momentum takes care of a lot of this. And then just resting your arms. I don't want you to do too much right now because we've got to add it into our routine. Fabulous. So anyone who hasn't immediately cottoned onto that and thought, yes, I can easily manage that. If that's just needing a few more cranks on the coordination brain, then don't worry, just making some nice arm circles. Okay, so we're going to use this in our lunge and we're going to bounce as we do it. That's the plan. We'll see how it goes. Come to the top of your mat and standing in your Tadasana pose, palms facing forward, lengthening through to the crown of the head. Breathing in here. And as you breathe out, bring your hands to the center of your chest. Breathe in, reach the arms up. Breathe out as you settle your shoulders down. Breathe in, lengthen over to the left side. Breathing out as you return to center, really firm in the belly. Breathing in as you lengthen to the right. And breathing out as you return. Let's twist. Breathe in, twist to the left. Breathe out as you return. Breathing in, twisting to the right. You can always soften the knees a little here. Breathe out as you return. Breathe in, open your chest, looking up. Breathing out, folding forward, soften the knees, lengthen your bottom out as you come down. Breathe in, step the left foot back. This time we're going to keep the knee off the floor, and we're going to press into the legs and still bend the knee a little bit. Pressing the feet apart or drawing the feet together, roll through your spine to come upright, but with both knees a little soft. This is where we add our swinging windmill arms. So we're going to breathe in, lengthen through both legs as we reach the arms over the head. And here we've got the left foot backwards, so we're going to send the left hand forwards and the right hand backwards. And as they come down, we're going to bend our knees, and then we're going to stretch them again, lengthen the legs as we reach the arms up over the head. So it's a little bouncing in the knees and windmilling with the arms. And it requires a little bit of balance. So either dragging the feet towards each other or pushing them away. And if you want to go a little bit quicker, you can. Very good. We'll do just one more to finish with the arms over the head. And then we're going to fold forwards over the front leg, she says, wobble, wobble. And then pivot to come into Aladdin's pose or your sideways squat. Deep breath in. Deep breath out. Hands come to the center of the mat as we transfer our weight to the center. We're going to come into goddess squat. Deep breath in. Deep breath out. Here, we're going to fold our forearms down to our inner thighs and gently rock from side to side. Just a couple of times, not too much. Coming to the center, let's reach for the floor, pivot our toes to point straight towards the side of edge of the mat. Press down with the right hand, breathe in as you lengthen your left arm up, twisting to the left, breathing out as you return. Breathe in, reaching the right arm up, breathing out as you return. You can keep the knees soft here, of course. Breathing in to the left, breathing out as you return, breathing in to the right, breathing out as you return. Walk your hands to your left foot, breathing in as you either squat or do your Aladdin's balance, breathing out here. And then we're going to pivot on our toes and come into our squat again, but not putting our back knee down. So here, pressing the feet apart or drawing them together, rolling through the back to come into an upright position. And we're going to reach the arms up over the head. We're going to lengthen both legs as our arms are long, and then really strong in the feet. Right arm goes backwards, left arm goes forwards, knees bent as the arms come down, and knees lengthen as the arms go up. See how you get on. Don't worry if you are not windmilling as we are windmilling. Making arm circles that feel good to you. See if you can get the hang of it though, if you can. Right arm backwards, left arm forwards. Going faster if you want to. Woo, we'll do just one more. And finishing with both arms over the head, both arms, legs long, folding forward. We're going to step both feet to the front and we'll take a deep breath in here. Relax the head, soft knees, deep breath out. Bend the knees a little bit deeper. Breathe in as you sweep the hands forward, drop the bottom, press through the legs to stand tall, open the chest. And exhale as you twist to your left. Inhale back to center. Exhale as you twist to your right. Inhale back to center, side bend as you exhale to the left. Inhale back to center and side bend to the right. Inhale back to center. And exhale the hands down to the center of the chest. Relax the arms. Shake out the legs if you need to. And make any adjustments to your clothing. Very good. Fantastic stuff. So you're doing well so far. And we don't really want to do too much more of this vigorous work at this time of night. So we're just going to go one more time around, okay? Let's practice our arms in the middle here for anyone who is just catching up on their coordination there. I remember doing this at school in PE and have never lost the ability, but if it's been a long time since you were at school in PE, or if you never have done it before, then this is the perfect opportunity. So standing in a comfortable position, we're going to reach the arms up, right hand forward, left hand backwards, coming back to the center, just doing a few rounds in this direction. See if you can, once you get started, see if you can keep going. And then see if you can change left hand forwards, right hand backwards. Just whenever you're ready. From the top, it's easier to change than from the bottom. I've never tried it. Yeah, it is. Yeah, absolutely. Super duper. It is for me anyway. Super. And then relaxing the arms. Okay. So one more time around. I know you can do it. And then we will do a little balancing exercise before we come down to the floor again. So stepping to the end of your mat that suits you the best. This one is the one for me. Standing in Tadasana, rolling the palms forwards. Let's take a breath in and out here. Sigh out through the mouth anytime you need to. Breathing in deeply. Bringing the hands as you exhale to the center of the chest. Breathing in and reaching the arms up. Side bend as you exhale to your left. Breathing in back to center. Side bending to the right, exhaling. Breathing in back to center and exhale as you twist to your left. Breathe in back to center. Breathe out as you exhale to your twisting to the right. Breathe in back to center and opening the chest, folding forward as you exhale. Breathe in, step the left foot, but keep the knee off the floor. Press into the feet to roll up to an upright position, and then breathe in as you reach the arms long and the legs long, arms over the head. So we're going to send the left arm forwards and the right arm backwards, softening the knees as the arms come down, straightening the legs a little as the arms come up. See if you can get a little bit more of a speedier bounce going on this time. You don't have to. If you're still working up to it, that's no problem at all. We'll just do one more after this one. And then long legs, exhale as you fold forward over your front leg. Pivot on the toes, coming into either this squat or coming into Aladdin pose. Then bringing the hands to the center, turning both toes out, heels in, come into goddess squat. Let's breathe in as we reach the arms and legs long, and breathe out back into our goddess squat. Now this time, we are not going to do the bit that we've done before. We're going to take the right arm down to the right thigh and reach the left arm over, and then come up to center, take the left arm down to the left thigh and reach the right arm over. Let's go up and over. One more time to each side. Up and over to the opposite side. Lovely. Coming back to the center, we're going to fold forward, lengthen the legs as you turn the toes forward, and do our little twists here. So right hand down, press into the right hand, lift the chest away from the floor. Inhale as you look to the left, reach the left arm up, and exhaling down. Inhale, reaching to the right, and exhaling down. One more time to each side, inhaling up, exhaling down, inhaling right, and exhaling down. Inhaling as you just bring your weight over your left foot, either on your tiptoes or on your heels, and then exhale as you pivot and come into your squat, dropping your right knee down. Press the feet away or together to come up into standing, and then lengthen the arms and the legs. So now we're sending the right arm backwards and the left arm forwards. And bending and stretching the legs as we go. If you want to twist a little bit more on your torso, you can, but I find it overtopples me. If you want to go a little bit quicker, you can. Feel the momentum, feel the power in the legs as well. Very good. We'll do just one more to reach up, and then exhale as you fold forward over your front leg. And we can step the feet together in our forward bend for a deep breath in and a deep breath out. Bend the knees deeply. Inhale as you sweep the hands forward, drop your bottom, press all the way tall. And as you exhale, twist to the left. Inhale back to the center. Exhale, twist to the right. Inhale back to the center. Exhale, leaning to the left side. Inhale back to the center. Exhale, leaning to the right. Inhaling back to center. Exhaling, gently draw the hands down to the center of the chest. When you're ready, letting your breath find its natural rhythm, letting the arms release, stepping your feet slightly further apart, taking a moment to gaze gently downward or close your eyes. Notice the effects of your posture work. When you're ready, if you need to sigh out through your mouth, always feel that you can do that. And sometimes we do build up a little bit of tension that we need to let go of. When you're ready, you can open your eyes, roll your shoulders if they need a bit of rolling, wiggle your hips if they need a bit of wiggling. Okay, so the perfect practice to combine with a sun salutation is Garudasana, the eagle pose, because it twists our bodies in the opposite way or in another way. We've done a lot of wide leg work and front to back work, and this brings the legs one in front of the other. So we're going to do the legs and the arms separately, and we'll start with the legs today. So if you want to step off your mat, which I might do, then you can do that for sure. So we're going to take our weight onto our left leg first, okay? So as you stand on your feet, allow your right toes to come onto the floor and try to avoid sagging your left hip out to the side. Firm your buttock and your thigh and bend your left knee. And then using a point of focus ahead of you that is not moving, cross your right leg over your left. So it might be that you cross at the thighs and that's enough. It might be that you cross at the knees and you get the thighs and the knees together. It might be that you get your right foot wrapped all the way around your standing leg. And if none of these work, you might have your right toes on the floor for a little bit of support or your hand on a wall. So whichever position you've chosen, she says, wobble a bit, it proves you're alive, and then step the feet apart, stepping onto both feet the same. Feel the difference between the two sides of the body. Fantastic. Take a moment between balancing sides because it helps us to release tension and not to carry expectations from one side to the other. Let's do the opposite side. So here we're going to take our left toes to the floor so we can move more weight onto our right foot, but without sagging our hip out to the side. Squeeze the buttock and thigh, bend the right knee deeply, cross the left leg over using a point of focus, wrapping the thighs, the knees, or even the foot all the way around, or choosing the floor. Take a few deep breaths. Try not to wobble. This is obviously my less wobbly side. And then when you're ready, unwrapping the legs and stepping onto both feet. Now we're going to do the arms. So anyone who needs to give their legs a rest and wants to do this part sitting down is most welcome to. So reaching the arms apart, stretching the fingers apart from each other. We're going to wrap the left arm over the right arm and keep the arms wrapping around the body as much as possible so that you get your fingers moving towards each other on the back of the body. Like you're giving yourself a big hug, actually. It's a very nice thing to do. And we're going to let the arms be heavy on the chest. So really relax them. And take a couple of deep breaths, maybe close the eyes and feel that space between the shoulder blades or between the fingers on the back of the body expanding as you inhale and releasing as you exhale. Maybe one more like that. Deep breath in and exhaling. Then for some people, this might be enough of your eagle arms, but if you'd like to do a little bit more, you can lift your elbows up, keep the elbows together, and then bring the backs of the hands towards each other, and if you can, the palms of the hands towards each other. And so it doesn't matter, you could be here, but moving the hands towards each other, and you're going to get the same effect as somebody whose shoulders just work a little bit differently doing this. What we want to do is avoid dropping the elbows towards the chest. So keeping the elbows up, but not too high. And in fact, you can move them up and down and see if that accesses things at places other stretches don't go. Which is quite nice. And then just find your center, the place that works the best for you. We'll take a deep breath in and a deep breath out. Then we're going to separate the hands, let them come down to the shoulders, and we dismount this pose in a particular way. So we're going to slide the arms down the sides of the body and then across the abdomen before turning the palms forwards. And what that does is, as we release, that lets all of the structures find their way back to where they were before. So we don't go from here to just like this, and we've flung everything apart, and it takes a while for it to catch up with itself. Same thing on the other side, reaching the arms wide, wrapping the right arm this time over the left arm, reaching for the shoulder blades behind you if you can get just that little bit more reach around the sides of the body, but aiming that in that direction for practice if you are still working on it. Softening the elbows to the chest. Let's take 2 deep breaths, breathing into that space between the shoulder blades and exhaling, softening, releasing any tension you find. One more deep breath like that. And softening and releasing. And then if you want to do a little bit more, you lift your elbows up a touch, keep the upper arms towards each other and raise the backs of the hands or the palms of the hands towards each other. And there's a little trick here. So lots of people get to about here and they're not sure if they can go any further. If you turn your palms towards each other, you can hold. Or if you're able to go around to wrap. Doesn't matter which one you choose. And you can choose any of these arms. We're going to lift and lower the elbows just a touch. Lift and lower. This is really nice done in a seated position as well. And then find your center for a deep breath in and a slow breath out. Brilliant. Relax the hands to the tops of the shoulders. Let the arms drift down the sides of the body, across the belly, and turn forwards to release. And you probably want to give your shoulders a little bit of a wriggle after all of that. And it's quite nice to let go of some of this tension here across the chest. But I've clicked something, so if you need to give yourself a bit of a rub, give yourself a bit of a rub. Awesome stuff. Awesome stuff. So we're going to try to do this as a balancing work, but we're not going to use the arms. I just wanted you to do them after our work. So we're going to try to step on to our left foot, bend the knee, wrap the right leg around and bring the palms together at the center of the chest, and then press off the left foot, catch ourselves in a little bit of a balance, step onto the right foot, catch ourselves in a little bit of a balance, wrap the left leg around the right leg and bring the palms together at the center of the chest. I'm just going to put this block a little bit out of the way. So you can traverse around your space in the wobbly fashion that we will go and make the most of your space. Okay, so we're going to start, we'll take our weight onto our right and then step our left foot out, arms wide, transfer your weight onto your left foot, bend the knee, wrap the legs and bring the hands to namaste. Step out with the right foot, Step onto the right foot. You can lift the left leg up, catch yourself in a balance, wrap your leg around, bring your hands to Namaste. You can work in any direction around your yoga space, going from one side to the other, just trying to find a sense of balance whilst keeping moving as well. Woo-hoo, she says. It's quite good fun. It certainly is harder than it looks, at least for people who are not able to balance like me. I've always had an issue with the balance. If you can, find a way to move differently with every step and make the most of your space. Do one more to each side. And then very gently bring your both feet to the floor, arms down by the side, and take a moment in Tadasana to breathe in and sigh out through your mouth. Let go of all of that effort and any tension in the body. And we're going to come down, you'll be very pleased to know, onto your mats. I'm going to pop my jumper on, and you might want to have your warm clothing and blankets close by for relaxation, which is not now, but will be soon. So let me just pop that blanket to one side. If you've got your block or some kind of support, it's a good time for it now. And we're going to lie down onto our backs. And I like to put my block behind my head because it keeps it out of the way for this next bit, but it keeps it close enough that I can find it when I need it. So take a moment as you come down onto your back to allow your arms to rest out to the sides. Let your body come into this new shape and adjust itself. Surrender to gravity where it needs to, and to hold steady where it needs to. We're going to finish much as we began by drawing the knees into the chest, hugging them towards a little bit, just swaying the knees from side to side, or just back from side to side. Just a little bit, a nice massage across the low back here. And then if you want to, you can make your knees go in opposite directions, maybe holding on to the backs of the knees or the fronts of the knees. And going the opposite way as well. Then we're going to take the feet to the floor one at a time. Feet nice and wide. And start swaying the knees from one side to the other. Arms relaxed away from the body. Head relaxed on the floor. As you get deeper into your spinal twist, maybe you feel that you could hold. So the next time your knees come down on your left side, leaving the knees there. And we're going to reach the right arm up alongside the right side of the head. And here, if you feel you've got room to move or room to move into it, pressing the inner right thigh and the inner right foot towards the floor as you reach your right arm slightly away from you. And if you feel that you've still got a little bit more space, you can rest the left foot on top of the right thigh. And just take a couple of deep breaths. And then when you're ready, you can uncross the legs. If you've got them crossed, release the right arm down to the side. Sway the knees back to the center. Just take a couple of small sways from one side to the other. And in your own time, Release your knees over to the right side. Reach your left arm up by your ear or over your head if it feels okay to do that. And see if there's just a little bit more space to press your inner left thigh and the inside of your left foot towards the floor without feeling anything in your knees or your hips as you do that that's twingy or awkward. Reaching the left hand away a little bit more if you can. If you have room, you can put your right foot on top of your left thigh and just see if that feels comfortable. It's much more comfortable for me on this side than the other side. And you may feel that you have one side that works better than the other too. A couple of deep breaths here. And then when you're ready, you can uncross the legs, release the left arm down to the left side, the knees back to the center. And we're just going to sway the knees a little from one side to the other. Very good. So now stretching your right leg up, crossing it over your left thigh so that we're coming into like a figure four stretch. And for some people, this might be enough, and you can simply sway the knees from one side to the other. That feels good, and you can get still quite a nice little length happening across the right hip by doing this with your feet on the floor. But if you feel that you can, or you've got room to move, you can bring your left knee towards you. Left knee is bent, right knee is bent in place, and sway the knees from side to side with the left foot off the floor, and if you can, without using your arms as well. If you want to, you can also circle the knee. So the left knee is the one driving the motion, and the right leg simply follows. And if you're circling, make sure you go in the opposite direction as well. Now everybody is going to release the left foot to the floor, leave the right leg in place, and just let the left knee drift to the left and the right foot to follow. If you don't come all the way down to the floor, you might prefer to come in and out of this more dynamically, or place something underneath your left thigh or your right foot to rest on as we take a deep breath in and a slow breath out. We're going to return to center, a little firmness across the belly to return to center. Uncross the right leg, hug the right knee into the chest, and then holding around the back of the right thigh, lengthening the leg to the point where it feels good. So it might be that you lengthen all the way straight. You might need to release your arms a little bit or release your leg away from you a little bit to do that. That's okay. So wherever you get to, rolling your right foot at the ankle, and notice if you are in a lengthened position, how differently that feels across the ankle and the lower leg. Roll in the opposite direction too. And then we're going to release the right thigh, lengthen the right thigh down to the floor, the right heel down to the floor, so the leg is long and straight all of the way. When the right heel touches, slide the right foot in, and then bend the left knee into the chest, cross the left foot over the right thigh. And we're going to begin with a gentle sway from one side to the other. And then for anybody who would like to do a little bit more, you can raise your right knee off the floor so it comes back towards the body. You don't need to flex both feet really strongly, but you want them a little bit active to protect, to offer some protection towards the knees, and then swaying the hips, or the knees, sorry, from side to side. And you do get a sway on the hips as well. That's perfectly okay. Little circles if you want to add a circle element. You don't have to, but you can. And the reason why we do this is because the big muscles in the buttocks, the gluteus maximus and medius, are fan-shaped. So we're going to circle in the opposite direction. So by doing this, we access parts of those muscles we can't do with a linear stretch. And then very gently floating the right foot down to the floor. And then from here, allowing the right knee to go to the right side, the left foot and leg to follow. If they don't touch the floor, it doesn't matter. You can either roll in and out with a nice firm tummy or place some support underneath the right thigh and the left foot. Take a deep breath in and a deep breath out. And very gently firm in the belly, coming back to center, uncrossing the left knee and drawing the left knee into the chest, hugging it towards you for a moment, and then sliding your hands around the back of the thigh, interlacing the fingers there, and lengthening the left leg until it is as straight as you want it to be, not locking out the back of the knee. If you need to let your arms come away from you or your leg come away from you slightly, you can. You can even hold onto your trousers instead of holding onto the back of the leg. And then here, rotating your foot at the ankle a few times in this direction, noticing how it feels across the foot and the calf, and we'll go the opposite way as well. So our feet did a lot of work in the Moon Salutation. It's really nice to give the ankles a little bit of a respite. And let go of your leg, lengthen into your heel, keep the leg as straight as you feel able to, and lower that leg all the way down to the floor. When the heel touches the floor, you can slide that foot in and place the foot down underneath the knee. Okay, so here we're going to do something on our blocks. So you need some kind of support. You don't have to, actually. You can just lie in Shavasana if you prefer. But if you have some kind of support, we're going to start on the lowest orientation. So for those of you working with a block, this would be the large flat side. And for those of you who are working with sturdy books, one book. Pressing into your heels and lift your hips only enough to slide that block underneath the back of the pelvis. We want the fused vertebra of the sacrum that joins the two sides of the hips, the two sides of the pelvis together, to be supported by the block. So not so much under the, it might be towards the middle of the buttocks, but not lower than that, and not above the bony bits of the back of the hips, so into the soft tissue that is above that in the low back. So all we're going to do here is let the feet come slightly further away from the buttocks and arms out to the side. Relax everything. Try to let go of tension in your face and your throat and your shoulders and your jaw, in the front of the pelvis and the back of the body. Take a couple of deep breaths. Here you can explore next, lengthening first the right leg and letting the leg come slightly out from your center with the toes falling out to the side. Maybe that feels really good. Maybe it feels even better if you bend your left knee and hug it towards you. And if you do that, I like to float my right heel off the floor and then just sort of sway, and it's only just off the floor, sway my right leg from side to side. And that helps me to settle my sacroiliac joint that sometimes gets a little bit upset by wide leg poses. And then relax the foot to the floor, relax the left knee down. We're going to slide the right leg in, so bending the right knee, foot on the floor. Take a moment in the center to feel the difference. Then slide the left leg away from you and let the left leg just drift a little to the side and the toes to fall out to the side as well. If that feels good, if it doesn't feel good, just do this with both knees bent. If that feels good, then drawing the right knee into the chest, hug it towards you, see if that feels good. And if that feels good, maybe float the left leg off the floor and just allow it to sway a little from side to side. I find this the most incredibly nurturing thing to do for my hips. Maybe you do too. I hope it feels good. And then in the center, you can relax the left leg down, relax the right foot down, slide the left knee in, and we're back on our block here in the center. And so Here we can try this with the block on a higher orientation for anyone who wants to, but not if they don't want to. So if you want to add another book or lift your hips and gently turn your block to a higher setting. And you might find that just having the knees bent here and the hips resting is enough. And if you'd like to do a little bit more, you can try lengthening your right leg out again, just as you did before. And if that feels good, then try bending your left knee into your chest. Just check on your block. You need to be really secure on the block. And if that feels good, you might float the right foot off the floor. And if you want to, you can either tap your heel across the floor, which can be quite nice on this higher orientation, or sway the right leg from side to side, or you might just leave your right foot on the floor. And then when you're ready, you can let the left leg come down, slide the right foot in. Again, spend a moment in the center. Then lengthening the left leg away from you. Maybe it feels good on this side. Maybe this side doesn't feel as secure. That's okay. If you want to do more, you can bend the right knee in towards you, hug it towards you a little. If you want to, you can float the left leg up and sway, or tap your heel across towards the right and out to the left again. Either of these is good. If you want to just leave your leg on the floor, you're welcome to. When you're ready, left heel down, right foot down, slide the left leg in as well. So if you're on this higher orientation of the block, then we need to come down to the lower one first before we come all the way down. So after your next exhalation, just lifting your hips enough, so barely at all, to be able to take a book out or turn your block down, and then let your, if you can, both legs go long and straight and out in front of you and arms out to the side. Just for a couple of deep breaths. And then when you're ready, you can slide the feet in one more time, bending the knees, lifting your hips only enough to remove your book or your block and let them come down towards the mat. And it probably feels like they're sinking through the floor. It's the most amazing feeling. And when you are here in your bent knee, arms resting out position, you can take your feet apart and lean your knees together. And just take a moment here, absorbing the effect of that practice. Before we move into relaxation. So if you need to move, you can. And for anyone who wants to, this is the perfect day for doing legs up the wall. So if you've got a piece of wall handy and you can easily get to it and put your legs up the wall, then we won't perhaps do the whole of relaxation there. You can always come down if you want to at any time, but we can do at least part of relaxation with the legs up. And it could be that you have your knees bent and your legs on your sofa or your bed or a chair if you don't have access to a piece of wall. And it doesn't mean that you can't use your blanket, as I will demonstrate when we get there. So if you're using a piece of wall, get as close to your wall as you can. So you have to almost move your shoulder that's nearest the wall away. And if you want to do it on your mat, you need to be towards the edge of your mat as well. And all you do is lie your torso down and stretch your legs up. And if you need to do a little bit of wiggling, then you can. But there's no need to have your bottom absolutely on the wall. You can be away from the wall and have your legs at a diagonal angle as well. So once you're up there, if you want a blanket, you can either put it over your torso, or if you bend your knees towards you, wrap it over your feet and slide your feet back up the wall. And that's the way to do it. So if you don't want to do legs up the wall, you don't have to. You can just lie in Shavasana, as we normally do for relaxation. If your legs are up the wall, make sure that they are comfortable on whatever they're resting on. So whether they're resting on a bed or if they're resting against the wall, so that your knees are a little soft, you don't have any strain in the back of the body, and you don't have any patterns of holding to keep you there. So you don't want the tummy muscles to be active, or any sense of clenching or gripping. Whichever position you've chosen, rest your arms away from your body. Let's take this opportunity to gently sway the head from side to side. So the nose is moving from side to side. The weight of the head is very heavy on the mat. And then when you're ready, you can let your head return to center. Make any adjustments you need to bring your body into a really comfortable spot. So if you need to fidget, do it this one last time. And bring your body to stillness. Close your eyes gently. Take a deep breath in and sigh out through the mouth as you exhale. If that feels good, repeat 3 more times. A long deep breath in, let all of your effort go. A long deep breath in, let your muscles begin to relax. Last deep breath in and surrender your weight down into your mat, into the wall, into any support you're using. Allow your breath to find its natural, spontaneous rhythm and fall away into silence. Take your awareness into your forehead, feel it soften and spread. Feel the area around your eyes relaxing. Your mouth, tongue, jaw releasing. Sense that space between the eyebrows opening. Move your awareness through the back of your body, feeling where the back of your body is in contact with something and allowing those areas to feel that sense of contact, to soften against the contact, to surrender their weight downwards. Become aware of the parts at the back of the body that are not in contact with anything. Feel the air in those places. Feel the lightness and the support from those places where you have contact to those where you do not. Allow these areas too to surrender, to soften, to release down. Move your awareness to the front of your body. Feel the touch of air on your face. The movement of your clothes on your skin as you breathe. The weight of your blanket if you have one. The sensation of holding space in the palms of the hands. Bring your awareness to your breathing and gently deepen your breath. Inhaling for the count of 3. And exhaling for the count of 3. Inhaling for 3. And exhaling for 3. Inhaling light, energy, and harmony. Exhaling tension, fatigue, and negativity. Inhaling light, energy, and harmony. Exhaling tension, fatigue, and negativity. Allow your breath to fall into your own comfortable deep rhythm for the remainder of relaxation, relaxing the body and mind a little deeper with every exhalation. Gently begin to deepen your breath. Bring your awareness back into your toes and your fingers by wiggling them around. Waking up the feet and the hands by rolling the feet at the ankles, the hands at the wrists. And then when you're ready, you can take a deep breath in, stretch. Stretch the arms, maybe wiggle yourself a little bit on your back. If your knees are up against the wall, then you perhaps want to draw your knees into your chest, as you will do on the floor as well. Make any movements that feel good to your spine, rocking a little side to side or turning your head. Contain that sense of peace and stillness by keeping your eyes closed and gently roll onto one side. Again, keeping your eyes gently closed, and whenever you're ready, coming into a comfortable seated position. Take one hand over your heart and the other hand on top, sitting tall, Take a moment just to give yourself gratitude. Thanks for making time for this practice. Take a moment to notice if you feel more released, a little calmer, a little quieter in the mind. And whenever you're ready, then gently blink your eyes open. Namaste, guys. Thank you for joining me for this practice. I hope you enjoyed it. It's not a traditional moon salutation, that's for sure. And I will see you again soon. Namaste.